Hey, huge shout out to Mr. JR Star 3 for the raid. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Knights of Teleria. Hey, big shout out to all of you football fans out there that are watching us instead of the football game this weekend. Thank you. Give us a minute here and we'll get started.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knights of Teleria podcast. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Big shout out to you guys that are missing or possibly will be missing the football game and sitting here watching us. Huge shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much. All right, we got to talk about a few things this week in Raid. We just got an announcement that we are going to be getting the instant battles for Hydra. We got a couple of new events in the game, and then we're all going to be getting a free Cat's Gaze, maybe free. But before we go too far, let me introduce my co-hosts for today's podcast. And first up, we're going to go with the birthday boy who just leveled up, Mr. Gestel Gaming. Gestel, what is going on, brother?
Yeah, reach 46, man. Hopefully, just keep on leveling up till affinity, I guess, right? Keep it going.
And beyond.
I see what you did there. Next up, we got the guy that will definitely fit in a duffel bag when I go over to Turkey, and it'll be the easy way to bring him back, Mr. Final Campachi. Ken, what is going on, sir?
Doing good. Guest out, happy birthday, man. 46 is
Thank
nothing,
you.
bro. Like, it's like teenager, like I have to. This is what I'm saying to my viewer because they are also calling me old. And yeah, doing good, man. Just cannot wait to talk about the raid stuff. I'm excited. I don't know what's your question going to be, but hopefully you guys also doing well.
Great. All right. Next up, we got the five-headed thinker, Mr. JR Star 3. Jay, what are you doing, man? What's going on?
Pretty good, man. Just been enjoying this event and just taking it like easy, not going too hardcore, trying to do everything. Just waiting for the next stuff that Raid releases.
Okay. And last but not least, my favorite late night streamer, Mr. MXPJE. PJ, what is going on, brother?
Doing amazing. Happy to be here with you guys. Sadly, no UFC last night, but we got some good football coming up later today. Can't wait for that. And yeah, happy birthday to Gestel, and can't wait to talk about what's coming up in Raid. We got some good stuff on the horizon.
Yes, sir. All right. Interesting week in Raid this week, right? With big thing too. Today we're not going to have Mr. Dabmaster, right? He's not going to be with us. Well, I don't want to say unfortunately, but Baby Brew is getting a year older today. So big happy birthday to her. And we hope that she is having a wonderful birthday. Much love from all of us to her. Enjoy your time with Daddy, because next week he's back with us.
We steal him again.
he's coming back with us. You get him 1 week a year. That's it. All right, so let's talk about this week in Raid. What do we got going on, right? So the first thing is apparently we had a meeting with some of the tier 3 CCs, and some information came down the pipeline about what we're going to be expecting to come within the next month. And the first thing that is the auto battles for Hydra. Now, we did touch up on this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, where we were theory crafting about what the implementation is going to be. And one of the things that they came out and said is that we're going to have a fixed amount of retries, and that is to prevent the sniping at the end. Now, first of all, kudos on Plarium for thinking about sniping. I guess it's not a big shocker because it's not a big, money sink. It's not a big pit sink. So it's not like we're buying shards last minute to pop them for, the cat chase or something. But they're taking a look at the sniping point part. Ken, are you okay with that? Or do you think that they should allow the sniping in there?
I mean, unlimited retry, you mean?
Well, they're not going to have unlimited retries. We're going to have a certain amount of
Yeah,
tries.
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, that's good thing, man. Like, because like I know some people going to sit on their PC or the phone they are gonna keep try nonstop, until they got the good result. Because it's gonna be like we talked before, full auto, and full auto can do some bad decision, because AI is not that smart. And yeah, it's a
Of
good
course.
thing there is a limitation over there.
Okay. Kessel, what about you? What do you think? Do you think it's a good thing to have the limitations, or should they just make it just as many times as you want?
Yeah, no, I remember when we initially talked about this, it was that this was our concern, right? Like that people would just do it a million times and try and get the best number they can. And I would say Plarium was probably watching that episode, and we're like, you know what, those guys, they're right. I think we gotta limit it. So, if not, they saw it too. So, good thing they saw that. That would ruin it, right? I think that would ruin it. And it's not like you don't have to do it this way, right? Like you could still do auto runs or full manual runs, whatever. But
Yep.
I think it's good. I think this is the only way they could implement it.
Okay. You're right. Maybe they are watching and listening to us. And if that's the case, if Plarium, if you are doing that, if you are watching us, please, for the love of God, all these quests here, like, just revamp everything. First of all, we don't really need 500 multi-battles. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of all of the weekly quests that are in the daily and advanced daily and put them in the weekly. Jay, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good call. You don't want hundreds of thousands of people doing this literally like last 30 minutes of just spamming over and over. Like what kind of great gameplay would it be just to sit there every single week, last minute, just going, nope. No one wants to do that. No one wants to play the game like that. So yeah, definitely limiting is way better overall for the gaming experience.
Okay. PJ?
Yeah, very happy that they made this decision. Like there's multiple reasons why I think it would be bad but I don't care whatever reason they picked. It's a good enough reason. Like I'm just happy they're doing it. It's gonna be interesting to see how many rebattles we get. Because if it's only like 1 or 2, that's not gonna be enough. If it's like 10, like maybe it's too much. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how much we get. And then yeah, like, it would be issue with like they're talking about having server load issues. Like imagine there's just like half the game just sitting there trying to rebattle at the last minute. Like that's gonna destroy the servers. Yeah, it's cool that they're like looking at like sniping as an issue and trying to like counter it and have it not be as big of a thing in the game. So that's cool. Props to them for doing that. And yeah, I think it's definitely the right move to have limitations on how many you can rebattle.
Okay. Speaking about how many limitations or how many turns we should have, right? So the first thing that really concerns me is the AI setup, right? Is it going to work as intended? Because we know from speaking with Bick, who's in chat, when they don't really test things come up and they fix them down the line, right? They prioritize implementing new things into the game and worrying more about keeping the game going as opposed to fixing some of the other things that are buggy. Although I think it was in Ash's video where the sentiment was made that they're looking to try to make sure that is minimized. But with that, how many attempts should be good, right? Are we talking 3, 5, 10? Ken, what do you think? How many
3.
attempts of the multi-battles should you have?
3. I think 3 is solid.
3 per key?
Anything more? 3?
3 per
yeah,
key.
Yeah, 3
so
per key. 3
okay.
per key. Yeah, each difficulty is a 3 try.
Okay. I could see that. Gessel, what about yourself?
I guess I just assumed 5. I don't know why I thought that. I'm fine with 3, I guess. 3's fine. 5, fine.
Okay.
As long as it's not, I think anything under 5 is fine, really.
Okay, I think it was Scratch that said it might be somewhere around 5 is what they're thinking. But
maybe,
maybe
yeah,
not.
maybe I heard someone say it. Yeah.
Jay, what about yourself? What do you think?
Yeah, I like 3. I think it's a good number to stop. It's 3 keys. Get 3 per key. That's pretty good.
Okay. PJ, what about yourself?
I was thinking, yeah, 3 to 5 would be good. Another thing they could do would be per day. Like you could get it to reset. Like you get 3 key resets a day, and then like I guess if you don't like that, you could try the next day or something like that. Instead of or 3 total. But yeah, probably 3 to 5 would be a good area.
Okay. Chat, what about you guys? What do you think? Is 3 enough? Is 5 too much? Is 10 just extremely too much? Let me know. Let us know, because I think, again, the problem we're going to have is that there's so many variations or so many things that could happen within that mode that the scores could differentiate by maybe a couple of million or maybe several million of damage, right? We could have it where some accounts or some of us are just doing 100 million, and then the next key that we have does 130 million, 140 million, or, you know, if we're doing 500 million, now our average key is about 400 million. But I also feel like there should be a safety backup, right? I feel like we should definitely have a kind of backup where whatever our best key is that we've done on auto should be saved as our baseline key. So if we're not happy with what it's given us, then we can use that key. Would that be a legitimate request to put in, or would that be just kind of a little too far-fetched, Ken?
I mean, if you manage to get your PB in full auto, sure. But if you do that in the manual, you cannot ask the, hey, bro, look, this is my best damage. Now you need to own me. You own me on the auto. You cannot expect that, you know?
Okay. So
that's not fair.
Expecting them to keep my personal best as my baseline key and improving on that is too much. Okay, fair point. Gessel, what about you?
Yeah, definitely can't do it off of PB. It would have to be some sort of average, at least over, I don't know, 10 weeks or something.
Okay.
That would take a while, right? But I think then you could have a justifiably strong number to say, all right, here's my baseline. But I think if you're just like, you know, you work for 4 hours and make sure everything works out perfectly, and you get this crazy high number that you're never gonna be able to really attain, you know, again, without putting that amount of time in again. I don't think you should necessarily get rewarded for that. I don't know, whatever. The numbers are probably within a million, or maybe even whatever. Let's say it's 50 million, even 500 million. Yeah, 500 million would be a bunch, but 50 million, like, it wouldn't be that huge of a difference between like PBs. But I don't know. I would say it'd have to be, if you were to go that route, which I don't think they should. I think you would have to kind of earn it in some respect.
Okay. I kind of like your idea about doing the average of what your keys are. Maybe we run all 3 keys and we either pick or we do multiple attempts and our baseline is set with the average of those 3 keys. I kind of like that because it takes the element of all 3 RNGs from those keys and puts them, and I think that might be a little bit more fair. But Jay, what are your thoughts?
You know, I think it should always be its own run. Like, it needs to be its own key, even though there's RNG involved. Because once you start creating a baseline like that, then the player base is going to want that for everything. Clan boss, Chimera, and it's just going to cause. There's a lot of people who can have really high PBs, you know, or averages more than the average player. So people are going to be like, "Oh, that's not fair. I can't get that high." it's going to cause drama. I think it would just be better just to RNG and people actually, unfortunately, play the game.
Okay. PJ?
Yeah, I think it would not be good to have your PB as your baseline. I was kind of thinking of like what you mentioned, like kind of what Gusto was mentioning, is have like the average of your keys. Um, but yeah, just I don't know, kind of also what Jay mentioned. If you start doing that, then the player base is going to want it in other areas of the game too. I think I really don't know how much of like the auto. It's gonna be interesting to see how RNG it is because a lot of these teams are really dependent on like you clicking certain heads like with a provoke or saving debuffs because like they're already up and like you need to wait to the heads to respawn. So depending on what you're looking for in Hydra, I feel like a lot of these damages are gonna drop. So it's gonna be interesting to see how many people are actually gonna use it and just don't care about Hydra anymore because it still has good gear, good accessories like stone skin protection. You still want it from the game through other areas, especially in Chimera. A lot of people are running 9-piece protection in that. So I don't know, like a lot of end game, late game players are gonna be doing this, or they're gonna still do it manually or like just like auto, not like the quick instant battle. Maybe more people will do it, but yeah, I'm scared of the RNG and how it's going to impact the damage.
Okay. Let's take a focus a little bit on accounts that are just getting there, right? They can do the 1 key damage, maybe just slightly, but because of RNG, the way the mechanics work, they don't fall within that 1 key. They don't get that 1 key once they use auto battle. Should those accounts have an automatic, because they've already qualified to do the 1 key on auto, should they have the automatic 1 key minimum damage, right? So for Nightmare, should they be able to get that 40 million damage that they need or 36 million damage, no matter what happens, even if the RNG is bad? Jay?
No, because in Clan Boss, I'll give you an example. So I was able to 1 key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, and ever since they changed Wixwell, for some reason, sometimes I get like 70.5. I don't get the 1 key. So even though I could use the 1 key instant auto, I don't get it because I get kecked by a little bit of damage here and there because of nerfs or whatever. So that might happen, like you might be able to get the 1 key one time, and yeah, you can unlock that baseline 40, which sounds really good for like, early to mid game players who really need that unless they don't want to get RNG'd. But that's just going to make people complacent. They're not going to want to push. They're going to be like, all right, I'm good. I'm done. The whole point is, once you're like at normal and hard, you want them to build better. So when they get to Brutal Nightmare, they get thicker builds, which will help out the rest of their account. So it sounds good in theory, but it's actually going to hurt the player and their mindset in the long run.
Okay. Fair point. Fair point. Ken, what do you think?
I agree with the Jay. Also, it is like things like that, Let's say, oh, I got a 1 key. Now let me take this champion gear to the another champion because I need them. So you can run them naked because for your theory,
you can't run them naked. It would be sort of like Clan Boss. They have to have the gear on them. They have to have everything. So it'd be the same thing, except when you run it on auto or when you run it on the auto battle.
But like it's going to run your champion at the background. Like it's going to auto that. Like so, if you minimum getting 1 key, why you need a gear on them? Right? Like you can just throw them some random gear then, right? It's not going to be run on your theory.
Well, no, you would still have to have the gear and the survivability. Just like in Clan Boss, you still have to have the speed tune, and you still, like, yes, I could throw a dumb team together because some of these champions are OP. So when I do my key here, I could throw this team in and it's going to do good damage, but that's because the team is built around each other, right? It's not like I have no gear on my Krisk or my Wixwell doesn't have, he's sitting on like half geared or something like that. So I'm not saying we should allow them to remove the gear and then just use it that way, but the champions that you put in on that team should be built.
All right, if they are already built, like if they are already 1 key in it, then they are going to continue 1 key in it. It's not going to be changed.
Right, but
if you're talking like they are like barely doing one key, I mean, they can't do that because, like I said, if they do guarantee one key, then everybody gonna abuse that. Like I said,
Well, I'm not saying as long as the feature is unlocked at one key, I think, and maybe again, I would think it would be a fair request to say, I do 39 to 40 million on auto with this new wave coming in. If the RNG doesn't work that way, because we're not going to be able to take a look at it. So if the head of Decay comes out and steals my buffs, well, my Lady Mikage is not going to go out and strip those buffs, right? She's not going to do that on their AI, which could essentially make my run go from 39 million to 16 million because she wipes everybody out, right? Or everybody gets wiped out.
yeah,
That's the kind of situation where I feel like maybe we should have that one key minimum.
I don't know. I disagree. Like if it's called RNG, man. Like there's nothing you can do about it. It's called RNG. That's why they are limiting the retry. If your team is not, then your team is not ready. Like you're talking about if this happened, if this happened, if this happened. Looks like you barely got a one key. Looks like you got lucky to have a one key. So basically, you don't deserve this. If you want to get sustain one key, you need to improve your team then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chat is definitely agreeing with
Because
you guys. They're not seeing my view as a good thing, which I guess
I mean, they cannot make a rule for that. It's I don't know. They cannot make it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so specific.
I'm just saying setting the baseline. That's all. Let's go to PJ next. What do you think, man?
Yeah, no, I'm agreement with everyone else. I mean, the auto battle is like a luxury. If you do the 3 or 5 keys and you don't get the RNG, then it's like you're too you can't afford to do it. You need to manual it, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of this content people want to auto, but a lot of it you have to manual, and it can be tough. But I mean, same thing with this Demon Lord clan boss. You can have the auto key and then still do less than the key itself, like JR said. Yeah, no, I think it would be bad. Yeah, if you don't get the RNG or you are barely hitting it and you don't get it, then you gotta do a manual, or you gotta try it again in the other 2 or 3 retimes. And if you don't get it, then yeah, no, you're not ready for it. It's supposed to be a luxury thing, I think. It's supposed to be for, and also if you're barely getting one key, like it's probably not taking you that much time to do it either.
Okay. Gessel?
Yeah, I don't feel like this is. Yeah, I'm in agreement with everybody else. I don't. I guess I don't have much more to add to it.
Okay. Let me talk about the scoring situation, right? So let's go in and say that they're going to do 3 keys and that we can't go back and pick the key. So let's say this key I just did 180 million. My next key did 200 million, but then my third key did 170. Should there be a way to pick which score we want out of all the 3, or should there be no way for us to go back and you get what you get and you don't get upset, as they say? PJ. Basically, do you run the risk if you have a decent key, or do you think that they should go ahead and let us pick which key?
Yeah. No, I definitely get the question. It's tough. I mean, ideally, you want to be able to pick which key, because you can get screwed by the RNG. Yeah, I mean, I think to play it safe, because of how RNG it is, you should be able to pick what key it is. It's just so tough. Like you said, your first key could be the best one, but you don't know that's your best one, and you're okay. Well, this is like the baseline 190, and then you're like, okay, I'll see if we can do more, and then your next 2 were 150 and 140. You're like, well, shit, that was my best one, but I didn't know because it was my first one. So yeah, I think it'd be nice to be able to do like all three, and then it pops up like which one would you like to keep, or you say I don't want to keep any of them, and then I want to just auto it, like and do just auto or like manual it. Because I don't think you should be able to be forced to keeping them if you don't want to. Because maybe you don't like any three of them, and you're okay. I'm just gonna manual it this week. So yeah, I think ideally you would be able to pick which one you get to
Okay.
keep.
You jumped a little bit on me because that was going to be my next question is should you have the option to go ahead and manual it after that? But Jay, what about you? What do you think? Should we get the choice of which one to pick, or is it you get what you get?
Of course, everybody would love to be able to pick what they want. Plarium, we know them. Most likely, they're not going to give us that choice. But what I will say that over time, players are going to realize, because we were talking about PBs, you're going to start realizing what your PB on average, right? Quotations average per rotation is. So then as a player, you're going to probably go, well, I range around like 300 mil to 400 mil. So if I get full auto 370, I should probably keep that. I think that's going to be something we're going to learn for people who are actually, full autoing and not manualing. That will be something that we'll be learning on our accounts because everyone's account is different. But of course, I think you should be able to pick what you want. But knowing player would probably be just use the next key and see what you get. So,
Okay, Chet, what do you guys think? Would you want to be able to pick the best out of the three keys, or would you be supportive? You run the risk. You run that RNG. And again, I think it's more fair to say, this is what your choices are. This is what you did. And I don't think that it's too much for us to ask, to be honest. Gessel, what about yourself?
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't. I'm not like opposed to it. It's good in theory. I don't think it's something Plarium would do. Mostly because it's not in the game already. My guess is it'll be pretty much the same way as Demon Lord. They probably just copy paste that. But I guess what I was gonna add earlier is it's the full auto is kind of the progression of the game, right? Like even when you start campaign, it's like, okay, we want you to do it this way, and then next you need to be able to complete this on auto, and then next you need to be able to complete this with just 2 champs. Like they kind of progress you through like how to get stronger, get a better account. I think getting the full auto is kind of just that tier up of progression, and if you're not there, you're just not at that point in the game. So
Okay.
I think I'm all for it. I'm all for making life easier and better for people. I just, in this instance, like I said, I don't feel like they're gonna do that. But
Okay.
I've been surprised before.
Hey, we got a big shout out here to Mr. Bronco right over on the YouTube side, and I'm actually going to pose a question to him. I'm going to pose this question to him because I want to know his answer. On the the attempted battles that we're going to get, Bronco, for the Hydra clan boss, are you in favor of them letting us pick, let's say if we get 3 keys, pick the highest damage out of it? Or are you in support of them saying, if your first key was 200 million, you reran it because you thought you could do more. Your second key ended up at 190. So you did less, but then your third key did 170. Are you willing to run that risk? Or you want them to do that? Or do you think you should be able to pick the highest one out of all of them? I'm curious to see what you say, Bronco. Let's go to Ken next. What do you think, man?
I like your idea, personally, but the problem is, let's say you run your keys, right? And they're at the background right now. So you know your damage, and you can call your clan, this is my damage, how is that looks like, stuff like that. And you can actually calculate the snipe number, and you can choose the numbers between them. That will be probably bad decision for them if they do that, sniping part. But other than that, if we are leave the competition part of the Hydra behind, that's a great idea. Actually, I like it.
Okay. Let's talk about the option then on if we're not happy with the multi-battle or with the auto battle, should we be able to get out of it and then just auto it by ourselves or manual it? PJ, I know you gave your thoughts a little bit before.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think so. Hydra is very different than the Demon Lord clan boss as far as like the RNG. I know that we don't like get to keep it or not. It's just you get what you get. But for Hydra specifically, yeah, I would love for them to be able to be like, okay, you get a certain amount of attempts, and then if you don't like any of them, you're not forced to keep any of them. You can then manual it or auto it, just not the quick battle, on your own. But yeah, I don't like the idea of forcing people to do it because let's say you get 3 really bad RNG runs and you're just screwed, and it's like, well, I don't want any of these. I want to do it myself. Like, and you're like, nope, sorry. So yeah, I think it would be best to be able to cancel and just not take anything.
Okay. Bronco says RSL help or overnight is still a thing. While that may be true for PC players, there is a majority of the player base that is still mobile. And it's an overwhelming majority of what we think, right? Gessel, what about you? What do you think, man? Should we be able to reject whichever one of those 3 keys and say, okay, you know what, I'm just going to manual it?
Yeah, I actually kind of wish they would have that in Demon Lord too. More like obviously more so for the free to play account. I used to struggle to sometimes get a 1 key there. So I wouldn't mind that on Demon Lord. So if they were to implement it, please do it on Demon Lord too. I'm fine with it. I think it does make more sense on Hydra. There is a lot more RNG there for sure. Especially like you can't really you can speed tune, but you can't like speed tune like you would a Demon Lord fight. So yeah, I would be fine with that. I don't think they'll do it, but I'd be fine with that. I think it'd be cool.
Okay. Ken, what about yourself?
So you are asking like if we use the auto battle, and
So
if we are out of the
if you use the auto battle and you're not happy with all 3 scores and you think you can do better manual, should you have the option to go back and manual the run or
Gotcha. I think the limited key only going to be auto fight, insta skip fight, maybe auto insta skip. I don't know like what they called it, but I think you can retry how many times you want on the manual, like which is the currently we can try forever, right? I think it's going to be stay same, but if you wanna do insta battle, I think this is going to be have a limitation. Like let's say 3 key, 5 key, I don't know how many key they are going to give us, but this one going to be a limitation. Manual is not going to get affected.
But do you think they're going to make us keep the last key? Or will we get to not keep, like, can we not keep the last key?
you couldn't keep any keys. You couldn't keep any keys. You would have to redo the runs manually.
No, right. No, yeah, but you're like what you're saying right now is like let's say there's 3 keys, 3 instant keys. We do the first one, we don't like it. Okay, we'll do it again. Second one, we don't like it. We'll do the third one, and then the third one you instant keep it no matter what, or you get to be like, okay, I don't want the third one. And
okay, here's the thing. So let's say we have a 3 key. Yeah. We got insta fight, we didn't like the result. We got insta fight, we didn't like the result. We did another insta fight, we also didn't like the result, right? We still have a 1 Hydra key. Right. We just lose all of our insta battle attempt. So we don't have an option then to run this either normal way auto, just go battle and auto watch the fight, or you can do that manual. I believe this is always going to be, they are going to be designed.
So they won't force it to keep it.
So you're saying they're not going to force it. Question to you guys, chat. How many of you play on mobile and how many of you play on PC and how many of you play both? Like I said, there is still a surprising, like Sus is a pure mobile player. And it's crazy that I didn't know that up until a couple of months ago that this guy is just pure mobile.
Bro, I'm pushing plat on the phone. I got the 80 last week, by the way.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's huge, man. Thank you.
Jay, what about yourself?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Apache. That's most likely what they're gonna do. Or if they're just too lazy, they might not just say no. You get 3 keys only. So, but yeah, I would definitely like that last one. That way, if you do have the option, everyone should have the opportunity to manual afterwards.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm mistaken that Sus is now a PC player and mobile player at the same time.
He upgraded.
Congratulations, sir. You've just now joined the rest of the club. All right, so I want Plarium to really kind of take a look at this and make sure that it gets put out properly. Because again, this could be a feature that works great for a lot of the players, or it could also be a feature that we never use, and then we all know what happens when they implement a feature that is really crap, especially the next day what happens with me. So make sure that you take that into account, because I like doing the rant videos. It gets my energy and my blood pumping, but it's one of those things where angry blazing isn't always good blazing, right? With that in mind, Ken, do you have anything you want to tell Plarium about launching this, or any, I guess, warnings about it?
They are watching us, huh? Like,
Well,
it has to be about
apparently.
this content because they kill this content. Like, nobody happy about this content. Like, I
well-
want, like, I'm going a little bit outside of the subject. I want them to fix the Hydra. I
Okay.
want them to fix the Eli attack. I want them to nerf the Tranda. Still.
Okay.
Yeah. People know what I mean. People know
do
what I
that-
mean.
I do know that they stated that they're not happy with Hydra still, that they still want to change more things. They
And
haven't
dude,
said what.
2050, bro. Like what? 2077, man. Like Cyberpunk. Like what?
Cyberpunk.
Pick says, leave Trunda alone, Ken. Stop picking on her.
You watched this video right, from some TR3 content creator got some news?
About
Yeah,
what they're
the
planning?
thing we just talking today. Yeah, what they are planning.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yep.
Soon.
Yep. No when. It's just soon. It's Plarium soon. Jay, what about yourself? Do you have anything you want to tell Plarium before they release this to make sure that they get it right?
I mean, being honest, like even if we did tell them, they're gonna do what they want to do, until it messes up, and then they'll be like, "We should have taken your, consideration."
Well,
Or they'll
currently
quotation say it's a
saying-
bug in the game, right? When in actuality it was intended.
They're saying that they
no.
want things to come out without having the bugs in them, and they want to implement things the first time and not have to go back and
Well,
I guess
maybe
they
they did
would
some
call
testing.
fix.
Well, I would say they need to communicate with their development team better, because maybe they don't speak the same language or something. But clearly, one plays the game and one doesn't. So something's going on, but
Okay.
that's on the company side, But yeah, I think they should just take their time when they do things. Don't rush things out, and actually double check every single time they release something. Because yeah, I think they just give it to some office people and they're like, "Oh, it's all on me. Okay, I'm gonna okay, it's ready." Then it comes out, it's like, "Oh, sorry, didn't realize this."
Well, that's kind of confirmed when we talked with Beck. That was really how they kind of feel about it. PJ, what about you?
I mean, I think just listening to the past 20-30 minutes of the conversation, we all had some pretty good suggestions and ideas for them. It sounds like they're in the right direction, saying they're going to limit the amount of auto retries, so that's good. Give us more than one. Don't give us too many, though. So I think we suggested a good amount. I think 3 to 5 should be good. And then, yeah, just continue to just watch, I guess, look at the analytics and see how everything goes. But I think
don't look at the analytics. Stay out
always
of the
look at
analytics.
But yeah, I think just rewatch what we just talked about. I think everything we talked about was good. And then, like we kind of already mentioned, being able to not have to be forced to keep the keys. Like if you don't like the keys, make sure that you don't have to keep them. And then, I mean, I think it'd be nice to be able to pick which one out of the battles you got. I think that'd be really nice. I doubt they do that, but I think for the player base, it'd be nice to be able to pick which one you get.
Okay. Gestel, what about yourself?
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Do you have anything you want to tell Plarium before they
Oh, yeah.
launch this feature?
Yeah. Well, just test to make sure it works. That's all I
Okay.
care about.
Nice and simple. Test it. Test it.
Yeah.
Make sure it's accurately tested.
Sadly,
I
not so
concur.
simple for Polarium.
All right. So let's move to the event dungeon. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time Pinpoint Gear was out, we had a 2x Pinpoint, right? Am I imagining this, or am I like actually?
I thought there was, but people in chat said there wasn't.
So there was never any 2x Pinpoint. I feel like there definitely was. There was boosted chances to get Pinpoint.
I thought there was too.
Okay, so chat is saying there never was.
Yeah.
So I guess my question then is going to be, why the hell do we not have it?
Why aren't there?
Why isn't there? I'm sitting on my main account. I'm sitting on like 80, 90,000 energy for this. And I'm like, I don't want to farm crit rate, accuracy, curing, dazed, or crit damage. I want Pinpoint. At least give me a boosted chance to either get artifacts or accessories. Am I wrong in asking for this, right? Am I wrong in saying we need the 2x boosted? Which, again, I feel like there definitely was. I don't know why. But, Ken, should they do this?
I mean, 2x, 3x, I don't remember personally. I don't remember they ever released it. Maybe on this dungeon they can make a difference because there is not too many gear set here. But my personal opinion, you guys don't have to agree with me, but 2x, 3x, I'm talking about the gear drop, means nothing to me. Unless you have a couple of, I don't know, more than like 50,000 energy to spend. This energy on this specific dungeon while there is a 3x and the 2x is active, it means nothing.
Okay.
It's literally means nothing. Like, getting Pinpoint set doesn't mean that item is going to be good. It's mostly going to be 5-star rare. And another mostly going to be a bad substat or the bad main stat. Even you got all of them good. Let's say you got a like 6-star, epic or the Lego, good main stat, good substat. When you roll the gear, there is a still chance that can be very high chance, by the way. Turns to the garbage. So, yeah, guys, farming gear is a long grind, very long grind.
Okay, so the free to play perspective is screw you guys. We don't have enough energy. This is a whale problem. Okay,
this is your yeah, exactly.
Fair point. Gessel, what about you? What do you think?
I would definitely would like it because you seem to get a lot more of the accessories. So if they could boost the artifacts, I would definitely like, because I feel like they do a nice job with the accessories, right? Because there's so many different factions. There's obviously got to be a lot. But then you're like whatever it is, 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 of getting a good, getting the artifact, and then and then it's even infinitely worse if it's going to be a good piece. So if they were to up the artifact drop rate, I would, for 2 days, whatever. I would actually like that.
And I feel with that, it might actually, and I know we've had the discussion of the dry January, but I feel like people would actually be more willing to use their gems, spend money on some of these horrible energy deals, But again, maybe I'm wrong. What do I know, right? I'm just a player. As for, I just want to answer a quick question. Is Pinpoint mostly for Arena? No. with the accessories, giving yourself a ring and either banner or neck or amulet, you get yourself 10 extra speed, which could be huge for speed tuning anything in game.
Accuracy as well.
Accuracy as well too. Yes, thank you. It helps out so much almost everywhere. I think any one of my champion builds that is Force and Tranos has a amulet and a ring of pinpoint. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Gessel. Anything else?
Oh, that was it, pretty much.
Okay, all right. Jay, what about you? Should we get boosted chances?
No, I don't think so. The thing is, you have to think of the balance of the game. Like perception is, if someone's like early mid, they're going to be trying to push for perception as fast as possible. Pinpoint would just overshadow that, right? And then what ends up happening is if you have like a whale that comes in and they're mid game, that gear is so insane. Like pinpoint is so crazy, it's going to scale the count crazy fast. Then all these other things that are supposed to be in the game, like Doom Tower and Faction Wars, you're supposed to enjoy it, learn the game. You're just gonna jump up too far, right? And then you're gonna be like, oh man, now I'm like in hardcore city. I have good thing I have all this, pinpoint gear, but it's not gonna be optimized. Like Final Kapachi was saying, like I run so much. Yeah, I might get a mythical, might get a 6-star, but it's horribly rolling. And it's like, man, like it doesn't feel good. But I mean, a 2x would be nice to alleviate that. And the only reason why artifact seems like it's less is because there's other artifacts there, and there's no accessories for like curing and like crit damage, right? So you have that higher probability of getting more accessories for pinpoint, which is nice because they could have reduced that, right? In like in the numbers, they could have been perfect, which would have been a huge dick move. But I do like the fact that most people can get more 10 speed for all your champions because you can combine it with like, of course, perception and then a little bit of 2-piece pinpoint, which is nice. But yeah, 2X's I think is a little too soon. I mean, we haven't had, this is our second time, right? Event dungeon. So maybe like when we have a few more, maybe it makes more sense.
Okay. All right. PJ.
I would like to see it. I mean, like everyone mentioned, the accessories is not an issue. We get plenty of accessories, which I'm glad they did it like that. There's way more factions to get accessories for. But I wish they would have taken out like one or two of the gear sets in there, or would do like a 2x, because like JR mentioned, there's multiple options of the gear. So like, let's say you do hit a gear item, then it's like, okay, 1 in a 6 chance of it being pinpoint, and then it's okay, is it a good piece of pinpoint? So yeah, I like the 2x and the 3x. I mean, Kapachi said it's not that noticeable. I'll take the odds. I'll take it a little bit. It's a little bit better than, I mean, it's better than nothing in my opinion. So I would like it. I would enjoy, especially for gear. I don't think they need to do 2x on the accessories, but I think 2x on the pinpoint gear would be quite nice. You do have to be a little bit careful on the balancing. JR does bring a good point about early mid game with the balancing, because it kind of overrides like perception gear. But I think it would be pretty nice to have, because it's still hard to get, even with a 2x or a 3x. It's still hard to get good pinpoint in it.
Okay. What about removing all of the other gear sets and just letting us farm pinpoint? Because there is some heavy elements of RNG in this game, or getting these pieces. And to Ken's point, a lot of them are just 5-star rares, right? Could that also help maybe boost some of these free-to-play early game accounts or mid-game accounts to go up against some of these whale accounts? Ken?
Bro, that obviously amazing. Will be amazing, But I don't think they will do that.
Okay.
Because you are going to spend less energy, to get the good gear. So I don't think they will do that.
Okay. Gessel, what about you?
I think I mean I'd love that. I definitely don't think they'll do it, but that'd be great. I think maybe what I prefer is if they like change one of them to like something that's just a little bit better, like something that's kind of usable. The sets are all kind of garbage, so I don't know. If they did, like, say they got rid of, what do they have? Sleep as one of in there?
Yeah.
Or days? Say they got rid of that and brought in, like, the curse set. Or,
Okay.
like, relentless or something. Like, just, not relentless, reflex. Like, just something that's, like, not the game-changing set, but, yeah, it's nice to get a couple pieces of that. I wouldn't, like, that would make it a little bit better, I feel like.
Okay. Fair point. Jay?
Yeah, we would love them just to only have a pinpoint there. But if they did that, that'd be a crazy spin war. It would break. I mean, they could do it as a strategy for like 2 days, right? Like just only pinpoint. You would have so many people go crazy. You'd probably have some free to play people actually, finally break their free to play. But yeah, I don't think that's healthy for the game. It's going to be crazy. In general, what they should remove, they should remove some of those gear sets. Definitely put some better stuff like replace days with stun, things like that. Or what they could do to buff up of all these old sets? Why not just release 9 pieces for them and give them a little bit buff?
No,
so now Curie has a 9 piece.
No. Jay, we already have way too many 9-piece sets, and No, listen, this game has already gotten to a point where it's very complicated for a majority of the player base to play and figure out. Adding more 9-piece, what are you going to have a 9-piece curing do? Just curious. What would you have? What would you have a 9-piece curing set do?
I mean, there's a lot. We talk about. There's a lot of different artifact sets, so you'd have to come up with different strategies for each set to make it viable. Otherwise, it'll just be a bad buff, right, over time. So it'd have to be something decent. But that's a lot to talk about.
9-piece curse set.
I think on the Ash video, he confirmed there is a more 9-piece coming. No,
he did say that there's a new 9-piece set coming for Live Arena. I believe it was.
I think so too.
So yeah. So it's going to be interesting. PJ, what about yourself? What do you think?
I would obviously like it, but I think the second part of your question was like, would it help free to players be able to counter the whales? That I don't think so, because all the energy that the free to play people are in, the whales are putting in 100x like of that, so like they're gonna get way better gear. So I don't think it would like help counter or like help progress them for that, but it would just be nice to be able to get some better pinpoint gear. Like you guys mentioned, it's not necessarily that it's only, or that we can't, like that there are other sets, but it's just like the other sets that are in there are really, really crap. If the other sets were better, then it wouldn't be as bad or feel as bad getting like not pinpoint gear. But just because the sets are so crap and you're really only looking for that pinpoint,
I think stun set right here would have been perfect. Stun set. Just get rid of days and put in stun set. I can make an argument then to say, okay, cool, I'd farm this all the time.
They didn't need to do like insane sets. Like they didn't need Savage or like anything like that. But like decent sets. These are all like pretty bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. So we've got a leak here from Mr. Bronco, who's telling us what the next gear set is going to be, and it's Punished Set. Reflects the skill casted back to the champion. 0 cooldown turns. How OP would that be? How OP would that be, Ken?
bro, like I'm almost 7,000 by the way, live arena guest star.
Oh,
yeah, man. Carrying, climbing art, bro, grinding art. Like my live arena fights, like I'm like entering the fight, I'm like using my Sifi A1. I know, I'm sorry. Debuff removed, or he's saying something like that. Debuff is gone. And I'm using the same skill on the different champion. It's saying the same thing. They are not sleeping anymore. I don't know what's going on. That's the thing. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Like, there is a loss of the relics, gemstone, stuff like that. I have no idea. Like, I don't know my Sifi A1 going to sleep the enemy anymore. I don't know, am I going to get a deflection from my debuff anymore? I don't know, like, some stupid champion who doesn't have a buff remove ability going to steal my unkillable buff anymore. I don't know, enemy Narcissus going to, not Narcissus, nice, survive against a full team because of the golden elixir anymore. Like, I have no idea what's gonna happen. So he's probably trolling about this set, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
But,
If that was
yeah.
the case, that would no turn cooldown, just reflect everything back. Yeah, that would be too broken.
Relix
but,
doesn't have a cooldown, by the way, so it's not that far away, but just saying.
yeah.
But yeah, man, yeah, I just don't want to see any other 9-piece set. I really don't want to see that. I
What
wish
about
they
a
are both in
10-piece set
existence set.
with a relic in it.
10-piece
God.
set.
10-piece set with the relics. The new
Shut
relics
up.
that are going to come in. Wow. Ken told me to shut up. What?
I mean, that's terrible idea. That's why, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect that, but that's the thing. Like, every time they release a new 9-piece set, guys, like, you need to hold them. Even they are like 5-star rare, even their stat doesn't make sense. Because you need to be able to build your champion in the 9-piece first. Doesn't
Right.
matter what kind of gear is that, you know? And because of that, it's causing the problem called the space. Like, if we have unlimited space, I really don't care like how many gear they want to release. I really don't care. But we don't. Like, their server also have a capacity, so they cannot just give us free space, you know? They can't keep do that. They said that before. They said like it's a technical problem. Technical limitation. So yeah, I don't know, man. But they keep releasing new set, and yeah, I pretty much like doesn't have any dungeon gear anymore on my account. I pretty much sell all of them, you know, because I need to. If I need to make a space, I need to use old gear set, which doesn't have any usage anymore. Sorry to make this long. I'm sorry, guys.
All right. No, you make a valid point there. Gessel, what do you think, man? Would that set be too OP? Go into arena, you use polymorph and it gets redirected back to you. I mean, you kind of already have that with the relic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the relic. Yeah, well, deflection, and what is deflection's chance? It's pretty low, I think, but that's I've actually seen people running that a little bit more and more in Live Arena.
25% chance.
25, yeah.
Is that fully upgraded, by the way? 25 or the default? I think it's a fully upgraded.
So deflection is 25%, and then the relic itself, if I'm not mistaken,
I was talking relic, my bad.
where is it? Is it this
Wand
one?
of submission.
Yeah.
No, standard one.
So it's
not that
wand of
one.
submission.
No, not this
sorry.
one. Standard one, bro.
Standard. Sorry.
Right.
So it's 25%, and then additive is 50%.
No. Yeah.
So
Well, I'm
maybe-
in the same camp. The most, and this is what I think I said originally when these came out. Like, you don't know when it procs. Like, you know, right? You're like, well, it's got to be this. Like, what the heck else could it be? But that's the most annoying part of these things, in my opinion.
Okay. So it might not be out of the realm of possibility, guys, to have it reflect the ability back to you. I mean, we've got a 50% chance right now with Wand of Submission. So who knows? Jay, what do you think?
Specifically, what?
The new gear set, could it be one that reflects the abilities back to the caster?
I don't think we
100%
need
of the time. No cooldown.
I don't think we need more like stuff like things like that in the game. Honestly, I think deflection is more than enough. Like, the whole point of the game is to either resist or to cleanse. But if you're just reflecting everything, it kind of destroys the point of increased res buff. It defeats the purpose of cleansers in the game. It kind of just it kind of destroys like that concept of why that's an archetype. You just start reflecting everything, then hey, I'm not affected. I don't need block debuffs. I can just reflect it. No, I don't think it's good.
It's more about adding aggravation and frustration to everybody, right? That's what Raid is built on. Raid is built on aggravating and frustrating you to make you spend. So, is it out of the realm of possibilities that they would add this gear set?
I mean, they could if they're gonna make money out of it. But then later on, when the company changes, it'll get removed. So it's
Okay.
it won't last long. That's all I'll say.
by the way, chat, you guys can't blame me for this idea. You can blame Bronco because he's the one that said it. So when they do implement it, the blame goes straight on that guy. PJ, what about yourself?
No, I don't think that's realistic. I hope not. At least, this is already strong enough. But I think Gestel makes a great point and kind of Campachi. It sucks just not knowing like what happened. Like you know what happened, but you don't like really know what happened.
There's
So,
no
like,
chat log.
Right. So for blessings, you can see it before, and you can kind of counterplay to it. With this, I think you should at least be able to see after, like what they had, just so you can have some like sense of mind and like okay, like this is what happened. They had this, they had this. I mean, it'd be really nice to be able to see beforehand, so you could kind of counter it. But I'm not sure how realistic that is. But at least to be able to see after the battle what relics they had, I think would be kind of nice to have.
Okay. Plarium, we know you're watching, but over here, just put a chat log. That way we can see what happened, and we can, just like the clan chat, that's probably
would
like
be
the worst one ever. Let us see what happened. I think World of Warcraft actually had this, where you had your global chat, your clan chat,
Yeah, all
and
of
then
them
you had,
that.
you'd be able to go
Combat
back and
log.
see what exactly a combat log. And
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. All right, let's move on to the big event of the week, which is everybody gets a free Cats gaze, right? Or maybe free. I don't know. They're not giving us any points in this. I feel like this is going to be. It's great that they put it in, right? And they put it in at 1,000 points. They didn't make it something stupid at like the end with like 3,000 points or something like that. So I like that part. I like the fact that we know what we're getting. It's not like a 6-star piece of gear that's mythical that we have no idea what it's going to roll that we get, and it's a flat stat main piece and crap everything else. But are you guys going for this event, and how deep are you going, Ken?
Bro, I'm dry so hard. Like recently,
Wait, did
because
you say
this
you try or dry?
dry. My account is
Dry.
dry, dude.
Okay.
Dry, yeah. Because the stupid relics over there, cat case. If I know they are gonna put there, I won't open my shard so hard on the previous champion chest, whatever thing, to try to get the crafting material, which doesn't even give me legendary. I tried that twice, no legendary. So I don't have any cat case. I'm kinda happy, and I'm happy, I guess, still. Even I got scammed. Because I'm dry so hard, I'm not going for the 5-star meta. I'm gonna
Okay.
stop on the 1,000 point. I'm gonna get the cat case, and I'm gonna save my stuff for the Valentine fusion. Yeah.
So you're going to. I guess the only bad part about this is that there's no working up to the perfect 5-star soul. You have to actually go full in. And I guess if you're not IPR Jungle, who's already got 3 Cats gazes, you're kind of SOL'd at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're going all in on this. You're spending everything you've got.
Yeah.
Jay, what about yourself?
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised that they actually put Cascades this early on. It's a good move, honestly. A lot of people keep asking me like, "Oh, I've already missed like 2 events." I'm like, "Nah, you'll be fine." I don't like the fact that we didn't have Mad Hatter at least 2 or 3 or 4 for most people who did go for him. It's kind of weird, but the 5 stars, every time I've gone for them, anyways, I always get like 1 or 2 right before it and get screwed over because I missed an event or something. I hate that. But definitely I'm happy that they actually did this for most of the players. I know it's going to be somewhat obtainable for most people, as long as they're doing, some of the points, but it's a 2-week thing. Like for me already, I'm already like on the second, I'm almost on the 3rd page. Like I'm 2.5. So I'm pretty happy overall. I think most people should be if they're at least completing like 80% of the stuff.
Okay. So the total points that are going to be going out are 1,750. So if you've missed, the key things that are going to be here is the summoning events. That's where they're going to hit us up. And tomorrow actually is going to be a big one because tomorrow we have soul stones, right? We'll touch in on that one in just a minute. But Gestel, how hard are you going for this?
Oh man, I think he's really good for Hydra.
The cat's
Um,
gaze, the
oh,
relic.
just the Cascades, not
Yeah,
the. We're not talking Mad
we're
Hatter
not
five star.
not the Mad Hatter. I mean,
Okay.
that
Well, I
the Mad Hatter is great. He's Broncos already showed us that he's broken. Shout
yeah.
out to him on the Fnax video with that one for Friday Night Hard Mode. But
Yeah, totally.
the cat's gaze is the
Yeah,
the big thing here, I
Cascades.
feel.
Well, I guess I was alluding to it's worth even going for the 5 star because I think he's that strong. So, getting the cat gaze along the way is nice. I'm super happy about this because I have not been able to pull anything. I haven't gotten a single Lego relic yet on the main account. I did get a cat gaze on the free to play, whatever. But the main account is
He's like,
without
whatever, it's
one.
the alt. Who cares?
No,
Who
I knew it was gonna
cares?
happen. As soon as because I pulled like 5 or 6 times for it on the main account, and I pull one and I get it on the free to play. But whatever. So I'm happy because I actually get one. Uh, I guess with these relics, right? Like kind of to Kampachi's point. You kind of feel a little jebaited early because you're not sure if you're going to be able to get one. So like him, I've been unloading a lot of shards too, trying to pick one of these up, and I haven't been able to. So in that respect, I'm happy to get it. But I guess on the flip side of it, it's a like it. The relics, it's not like you just want one, right? Like you want to have multiple because you want to be able to put them on multiple champs. So I don't know if it's outside the realm that they might be doing this early because maybe they'll do it again.
Okay.
I don't know. Throwing it out there.
Throwing it out there that we may actually have more boosted chance as well.
But, I mean, you don't just want one of these, right? Like,
True. True.
Like these things, there's not many of them, right? There's whatever. There's 10 at most legendary, 5 legendary, whatever. There's not that many of them right now.
Right.
And I don't think in total there's going to be a tremendous amount of them, but you have a tremendous amount of champions, and you're not using them all, but you're probably using whatever. Let's say 10% of your library. You're gonna want a good relic on all of them. So, whatever. I think just because you got to have a lot of these relics, basically. So I think they got to give you a lot of ways to get them.
Okay. I feel like at this point, what we're probably looking at, because if we can see here on the standard and the Chimera relics, we have 12 relics in total. I think the last slot that's going to come out here is going to be an epic one. So they're going to go 2 mythicals, 2 legendaries, 4 epics, 4 rares, which would make sense. But that, again, really depends on what they do. The one thing I do want to say is actually I was recording a video earlier with Bick, and he made a great point into go after these now, because as they start introducing, granted it's not going to be a lot more, but we still have another area here where they're going to bring in 12 more relics, right? It's going to get watered down. So when we have the chances to get these relics now is when we should be going for them. It's like, 10 years ago, like 3 years ago, Duchess was the most OP. So when a 10x Duchess came, we blew our shards because it was one of the better chances to pull that specific champion. So I guess the same thing kind of falls with this, but then we fall into the whole FOMO thing, right? PJ, what about you? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm really, really happy, really surprised that it's on the 4th page and not the last page. I definitely thought it would have been on the last page. I didn't know if it was going to be the last reward, but I definitely thought it was going to be on the last page. It does feel a little bad for people that might not be able to get it now because they pulled shards going for the Lego or like the other event materials. But I think you'll still be able to get it even if you skip the summon events or skip a few. You should still be able to get the 1,000. But I will say, I don't think you should stop at the 1,000. And I'm not saying you should go for the soul. But for an extra 50, you get a 3-star basal, a ranked star basal. I think that's really, really good. For an extra 50, those are hard to get. You can only get them from Ultra Nightmare Chimera, I think, right now, and I guess from like tournaments and events. But I would highly recommend trying to get that 50 if possible, or that
Okay.
extra 50.
I could have sworn I thought I saw a thing where we were actually going to be also getting them from the Deck of Fate events, but maybe it just looks like it's the crafting material itself. Overall though, I feel like I like this. This is probably one of the best ones that they've had. The rewards aren't crap either, right? So and having the chance to get this, granted, now I know that the one thing, I guess it's like, well, everybody got Armand's, Arena became toxic. Will the same thing happen with this? If we're all getting one of these, I don't think so. If we're getting, 3, 4, or 5 of them, that could change some things. But again, there's the hidden element on who it's actually equipped on, right? Do you guys think that it's a problem if they started giving us more chances, to Gestel's point, where, as this event starts ending, by the end of it, let's say we have an opportunity to get 4 or 5 each. Would that be too much, Ken?
You ask they going to give us more chance to get them?
I said if they give us more chances to get, let's say, 4 or 5 more of these for the community, right? Would that be too much?
I mean, some people lucky to have 4 of them.
IPR Jungle?
Or 3. Yeah. Jungle, Noobcake, I think he have 3 of them.
Nupcake's
He's
got
going
3.
to get... Yeah,
They went
he's
from a
going to get...
rare.
That's
Unbelievable.
insane.
CC, by the way. So he's also going to get a 1 more here, right, on the event dungeon. So it's going to make the 4. This very strong, man. This very strong. Good luck. Oh, yeah.
CC luck
This
is
is also-
trash.
Yeah, this is my CC luck also not working. Don't worry. I mean, this is very strong relics, man. I highly recommended people to go for this one. Yikes. Every time my tag is getting worse, I feel like I'm gonna shut up and you just pull your stuff.
Oh
Oh,
god.
there we go. You
A
got
little
it.
better.
No,
Yeah.
it's actually, this one's not really that great. Again, back to Bick, we were actually talking about these relics and how, this one is, I'm not going to say that. I'll save it for the video. You guys can go watch it there. But yeah,
I mean, this one you have
By
to
the way-
pick one or the other. It's not. You can't get both. You have to do one or the
Yeah.
other.
By the way, even they are going to give us more chance to get this cat case. I prefer like guarantee, like the Titan event. Sure, we are going to spend some resources in the game, but give it to me. Don't
Okay.
gamba to me, man. Don't gamba to me. Gamba doesn't work on me.
okay. Gessel, what about you? What do you think? Would it be too much if they gave us the opportunity to get more?
Well, yeah, no, I think giving us 2 would probably be the plan. Like I said, you want to have a lot of them. 1 isn't enough, and I know they don't like maybe they want you swapping them out, but there's no real no way for them to make money off that, I guess.
Okay.
We're doing like a gear swap with silver and such. So I don't. Yeah, I feel like the plan is I think the plan is to just try to get as many relics out there as possible. So I think they probably give you 2 and then a lot more options to get it, especially if this is limited time.
Okay.
Yeah, they might bring it back like event dungeon type thing, but
Okay.
you never know.
All right. I've pulled about 4 Holy Grail so far. So, Jay, what about yourself?
I mean, this is for the Alice's Adventure. If they really want to keep people going, it would make more sense if they gave another opportunity for people who didn't get it this time. But 3 or 4, I don't know. I doubt Plarium would do this, something like that. They'd want you just to RNG it.
Okay. PJ?
Yeah, I don't know if they would give us that many. I don't know if it would be that big of an issue though, actually, because I mean, you're usually using 2 nukers at a time in most areas, 1 or 2, depending on where you're going. So having two would be nice, and then if you really need to swap it on someone else, you can switch flop it around, switch swap it. But yeah, I don't. It's not like it's a really good one. Don't get me wrong. It's really strong offensively, but it's not like the Wanda submission where you're like reflecting sheep back or reflecting debuffs back. You're doing more. You're ignoring defense, more damage. Really, it's good for PvP. Really, also good for PvE. So I don't think it would necessarily be the worst thing, but I don't think they're gonna like realistically give us that many.
Okay. I hope that we get some chances to get a couple of more. I think maybe 2 or 3 per an account, or at least to have the opportunity to get, and not as a first place thing. Please, Plarium, for the love of God, not as a first place thing.
That's what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. To
like winning a champion chase or winning a champion training. Like
no,
first place
that's that would be so bad. Although I do wonder if I do wonder if that the top players in the champion chase are getting anything in particular. No, they're getting 3 soul stones. They're getting screwed.
Better than usual, by the way.
That is true. That is true. But maybe they could have done something a little special for them. But maybe some of them are in the Supreme Club, so who knows? But I do feel again that 2 to 3, spread them out, especially because again, as the pool gets watered down, it's going to be more and more difficult. And to be honest, I'd be okay if they did them kind of like a fusion, right? Where we would just collect pieces for them. Although I guess this is the same thing, but the element of RNG with the Regal masks is just too much on how we're crafting it. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I did a rant video on the marketplace. And there was a lot of people in Discord sending me pictures of pieces of gear that were like 10 million, 13 million, or like 9 million, 10 million silver. And I've refreshed this and I've been keeping an eye on it since I've done that video. Now, is it just me, or have you guys seen the prices drop, or are they still up that high? Ken?
Actually, interesting question. I am feeling that, bro. I am feeling that. I'm feeling like prices are getting lower. Is that, or it's just like luck? I think the bottom pieces, depends their main stat and substat. I think the price is adjusting.
Like I feel this piece would have been way more a few months ago.
No. I think only bottom pieces are expensive.
Only bottom pieces. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. 600, and that's a speed boot. 3 million. I feel that's a 6-star. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
cheaper.
I don't want to take claim for this happening, but maybe, I don't know, chat. Am I wrong? Since the time of that video release where I called them out, it seems like the prices have dropped. Continue, Ken. I'm sorry.
By the way, you see this tip over there from the red? The more you buy, the more quality you are getting. Will you try this for us?
The more that I buy, the more quality that we'll get.
Yeah.
I don't think I have enough silver, but I have enough to refresh. Again, I feel like it's definitely changed. I've seen 6K at the moment for 6 million for speed attack boots. Let's see. I haven't seen anything then higher than 4 million this week. So maybe they went back and they secretly nerfed it without telling us anything. Gestel, do you think that that's a possibility?
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping an eye on it. The numbers were crazy. It's definitely the bottom, like boots, chest, gloves. If it's a 6-star Lego, those are going to be like 9. I've seen like 9.3 million, I think, around there. 4.8 million for the top row pieces, 6-star gold. So it's It's I don't think they've changed it, but I think it's pricey.
Okay. Jay, what about you? Have you noticed that anything might have been changed with the prices?
No, but I've
No.
definitely once in a while, like I'll notice a piece that's like, oh wow, this is actually not that expensive, like 2.5, and would I roll this? And it's like it actually has like 3 to 4 rolls, like even something that I would get from a dungeon. Like I got a stalwart piece, and I was gonna break it down like step by step, but I'll do that for a video. But yeah, I haven't seen anything drop. I think it's just literally might have been just RNG. I'll see later on if I find another speed piece, but definitely if they did secretly nerf it, thank God, because no one wants to pay 8-9 mil for trash anyway. So
Right. PJ, what about yourself? Have you noticed anything?
Honestly, I feel like my account was like secretly. It never really had any crazy high like numbers, even in the beginning when like they first changed it. Like I had things that like were like 3 million, 4 million. I did see gloves the other day that were actually really sexy. I didn't buy them. They were 6-star Lego bead HP percent gloves with speed ac res on them. I think it was like one bad stat for like 7.5. I didn't buy it, but I was like, those are actually kind of juicy. But yeah, maybe a little bit lower, but I haven't really paid too much attention to it. I hope they do though. I mean, it's definitely, like Esso said, very pricey. For just pure gamba, not knowing what you're gonna roll, you just see what the stats are. So I hope they lower it even more if possible.
Okay, so maybe I spoke too soon because now we're seeing one here for 7 million, which is, in my opinion, absolute
that's a
crap.
scam.
But it just felt like it was one of those
That's
things.
a nice piece.
Yeah, that's actually a nice piece. There we go. Oh, damn it, my storage is full. But it definitely feels like some of the prices may have came down. Or again, maybe I'm just imagining that this was actually something that happened. Let's talk about the nerf that is going to be happening sometime soon to the faction unity champion. Big shout out to Bronco for breaking the game again. But now they're going to nerf the I believe is the A2, right? That brings all of the turn meter together. I think that's what it was going to be. So they're going to nerf this. First of all, it's a faction unity champion. Should they be allowed to be broken, Ken?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So
It's hard to get them. So like, if you manage to pull one of them, sure, I think you want them broken.
okay.
Well, there's a difference between broken and like actually breaking the game.
Oh yeah,
Hydra's
yeah,
taking
yeah.
0 turns.
Yeah. I'm not talking about like breaking the game. I'm talking about broken, just strong champion.
Right, but I'm
Well,
not sure what
I
you
don't think it's
Blaze.
breaking the game. I think they could have just simply go back in and said, hey, listen, we're just going to make it so it's not effective in Hydra or against bosses. Right?
Or they can just test him before the release.
That's true too. That's true too.
Or they can announce it, the nerf before they sell in the 10x for him.
That is a big thing right there as well too, because I happen to know that they get fed a lot of this information prior to it going live. But Gestel should I forgot what they're called.
Nerf?
Yeah, should they be able to nerf these faction unity champions?
Well, what's the actual nerf they're doing?
So now on the A2, instead of bringing his turn meter up to everybody else's, he's just going to bring everybody else's to the highest turn meter and keep his where it's at.
Well, to answer your question, should they be able to do that? Yeah, they should 100% be able to do it. You can't break a game like Bronco showed us. Like it was ridiculous. You can't do that. right?
So they should be broken, but they shouldn't be broken to the point where they break the game.
Yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Don't break the
Okay.
game. Don't ruin the game. But if they're really good, like quote unquote broken, like they're really good, and he is, I think this still makes him really good. Does he really need to? I mean, that ability is so crazy, and it's the craziest thing about that ability is you don't need to have other champs from his Unity on there, so you can use that anywhere.
Right.
Maybe they need to add that in. Honestly,
Maybe that would have been the thing because, you actually bring a valid point. Because how many of these champions would you actually bring into a Hydra battle? I could think the Mad Hatter, maybe a Letrion, Mother Cybele because of the decreased defense, and Korra. But you wouldn't be really bringing in a lot of these champions into Hydra. So they could have just done it so that he has to have as a faction unity. So that's a good call out there. I would actually support that over any other changes. Jay, what about you? What do you think? Do you think champions, faction unity champions should be broken?
I mean, most of them kind of are with when you put the right champions with them. But by themselves, I mean, that's the whole point, is that they're supposed to rally other champions, right? They're supposed to be stronger.
He's not broken.
Um,
He's not broken.
Remember when you first pulled him, you told me he was like, yo, it's so busted with
Well, yeah, when I first pulled him, he was broken because I had a double Taras Marichka and there wasn't that many counters. So now he's no longer broken. My knee still hurts from that day. that better win me best reaction of the year. I'm just saying. Continue, Jay.
I mean, he's still really strong. I think when we mean broken, I mean like it's not like a one like champ that does everything like Armand's. Like it's just a champ that by itself is a really good Lego, and then when you put other good Legos, they become more stronger. So I mean, this nerf is kind of, it sucks, but if it's not to break the game, we have to not break the game, because eventually what's going to happen is more stuff's going to come out that's going to be similar, right? Because they're not going to make worse Legos, and those are going to be even more powerful than the Unity Champion, and probably Mythicals, and if they don't check that out, that's going to create more bugs or more situations like this. So good thing we have good content creators who can break the game because they don't test enough. So
I agree. And Plerium, I know you're watching, so maybe think about hiring Bronco as a I don't know, somebody to just break the game for you. Like, hey, we did this. Here we go. Play it and let us know what we screwed up on. I think that's a good idea for you. Sorry, PJ, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think there's a difference between someone being like really, really good and then actually like breaking the game. Like when we're talking about breaking the game, like Hydra taking 0 turns, I think that is an issue. So yeah, I think this is really good that they changed it. They could have done something like where they did with Hydra and waited 4, 5, 6 months down the line, had everyone make teams, and then nerf it. And then people are complaining that they put resources into all the teams and stuff like that. So they nipped it in the butt early. He's still really good. It's not like he's trash now. He's still a very good champion. And they're also preventing stuff from down the line with the thing, with like the ability breaking the game even more. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw the Bronco video, and like the team didn't do really any damage. It did like 18 million on Ultra Nightmare. I'm not sure what difficulty he ran. So like that team specifically isn't going to really do much as far as damage, but he said he could bring in like a Yumiko. He's going to test Yumikos and stuff like that. So it just opens the door for even more broken stuff down the line. So no, I think it's good that they nipped it in the butt early, and it sucks for people that got him. But he's still really good. I don't think he like loses that much value. I still think he's worth building and messing with. But no, I'm glad they did it. He was actually broken. There's a difference between being like good and he was breaking the game.
You could have probably ran, I guess, like a double Yumiko Trunda composition with this guy and just continuously bring the turn meter up. So, but let's more specifically talk about the nerf exactly, right? Most faction unity champions, if I'm not mistaken, and we'll take Aslam for example, because I have him, each ability, right? Maybe, okay, so they don't have it. I thought that his A2 had it, but the A2 for him is pretty shit. We never use it. could they have just made it just for the bosses themselves? I was gonna go a totally different way, but I failed to prepare for this part of the show. But could they have just made it that, against bosses, this doesn't work. Against, it's only a PvP specific, because this could still be kind of broken in PvP. And I feel like we need something to shake up Arena with all the mythicals. Ken?
Yeah, they can do that, but I don't know, man. Like, that was we asking for the Tranda as well, right? Just make her.
No, you're the one asking for Tranda right now. No one else is asking for Tranda.
Okay, like I was saying, like just make her damage limitation on the Hydra only, right?
Yeah.
And leave her alone rest of the part of the game. But didn't go that way. I don't know why, but they are not going that way. They did a similar thing on the Cadaver. They actually put a limitation on his skill, which is affecting every area on the game, not only for the Hydra. But yeah, they can just put there like only not working against bosses, stuff like that. I guess that can work. I mean, yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, this is not going to work on the bosses, and instead of that, this secondary part going to work against the bosses. There's a couple of the champion they recently released that have the similar mechanic. Normal champion places stun debuff, like Archer girl, I believe. Against the bosses, she's placing the crispy debuff because you cannot stun them. So
right. So it's not like the mechanics are totally new to them. They could have left it out as it is and just done something a little more easier for them, or just more for the boss. I'm going to change the question because I want to ask you guys with this, for the people that did pull him, because I pulled him on one of my alt accounts. Will I build him on that alt account? Probably. He's not the best. He doesn't have the best gear, but should they go back and do something for the people that got this guy? Or should they just say, you know what, we gave you guys warning, we fixed it early enough, you get what you get and you don't get upset? PJ?
This dude, like, this guy's not trash. This guy's still really, really, really good. You're acting like this guy's shit now.
I just feel
you get what you get and you don't get upset. You're lucky you get this guy. This guy's still good. Like,
I just feel like I pulled them, and this is a really cool ability that I could have done so many other things with, and so many other people could have done.
It's not a still cool ability?
I mean, it's still a cool ability, but he's not.
The only difference is you're not boosting your turn meter.
Yes, which, how am I supposed to go 10 times before
Exactly.
I mean, I want to try to go before Panda. How the hell am I supposed to take on Panda's account when,
Well, this dude's also is an issue with Stone Skin as well, but that's a whole separate issue. But no, I think it's fine. Like, you're getting plenty of time. Like, you didn't build this dude, you didn't invest in this guy. Yeah, I mean, you might have, but I still think he's good. Like, I still think he's worth investing in. He's really good. Like, they tweaked his A2 a little bit, so it's not like actually broken in the game. Like, he's still really good. He still will be usable. I think it's fine.
Okay. So no giving back anything to the community on this. They, you feel like they acted within a reasonable amount of time to fix this.
Yeah, and it's not a big enough nerf to him to make him shit. Like, if they would have like made him absolutely trash, then like maybe give some like type of refund or something. But like, I still think he's gonna be really good. Like, I don't think it's like that big of a nerf to ruin him.
Okay. Jay?
Yeah, I think it's totally fine. I mean, I would recommend reducing it to a 4-turn cooldown because it's fully booked as 5-turn is kind of crazy. But yeah, that's the only thing I would do would change.
You know what? I like that idea, Jay. If you're gonna mess around with this Plarium and you're going to, nerf his A2 and make it so he doesn't have to do so he doesn't boost his own turn meter, bring it down a cooldown. Don't be so heavy on it. Make it a 4-turn cooldown. Sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, because I mean, he doesn't have high base speed either, and if it's getting nerfed on that part where his turn meter, it would make more sense to get that extra speed to reduce it from fully booked to 4 instead of 5. I mean, 1 CC or something like he's probably never going to use this skill again. And from a lot of the videos I watched, it was really he's really strong champion. Like, he can do a lot. especially because there's Narcissus and some other great champions in that faction as well. But yeah, just that's up to them if they want to do it. Otherwise, it stays at 5.
You know
Yeah,
what?
that's a good
No,
compromise.
now that you said that, I really feel like it would be the actual more reasonable thing, because it would essentially, if everybody's got brought up to the same time or the same level, wouldn't it essentially be a 4-turn cooldown? I think maybe I'm just not thinking about this properly. But if he's
Yeah,
already
you get
going,
like an extra turn almost.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it would be a 4-turn cooldown. So yes, Plarium, bring this down and don't charge us a book. Don't charge us a book.
That'd be good. Yeah, that'd
Guess
be nice.
Yeah, I don't think any compensation is necessary. I don't think this is that big of a deal. In terms of the change you guys are talking about, I think that would certainly work.
Okay.
But as PJ said, this guy's still really good. So I love this guy, man. I wouldn't be mad if they changed it a little bit. I don't think it's really making him like unviable. But it's a interesting kit. So
Okay.
I hope I get him. I still hope I get him.
According to Bronco, he could still break Hydra. He's just not going to share us how, which I guess is a good thing, because if he does show us, then they might as well just delete this guy, because, what else are they going to nerf on him? Ken.
I mean, I already talked about it. The thing is, I don't
Compensation.
understand.
Compensation. Should there be any compensation for it? Or did they act fast enough for you that compensation isn't really necessary?
I don't think the changes they are going to make on him is that big, by the way, the nerf, I mean. So, because of that, probably compensation is not necessarily needed, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, like you guys said, like he's still a very strong champion, even after the changes. The thing is, who decide the champion is broken?
Who decides the champion is broken?
Yeah, why Plarium is thinking this champion is broken and not Armaz is broken? Like, I just
Listen.
try to understand,
Chat,
like,
let me ask you guys. Every time Ken asks for Armand or Chunda to be nerfed, should we put a button out there to mute Ken for, I don't know, a various amount of time?
bro, Armaz need to delete it on the game. He's that broken. Like,
He's
he need to
that
delete it on the
broken.
game. I will two of him. I will be dance on the stream if they delete it. Like, they don't need to give me anything,
Okay. So
Again, like,
delete
would decide that?
Armand's-
Like, would decide the champion is broken like a Losan and the not Armaz is the broken? Like, I just want to know what rules they are actually looking,
well,
So, like,
as long-
champion
as
need to be
long
broken
as-
in the Hydra, but arena is fine. They can be broken on the arena. Is that the thing?
Arena is just frustration, aggravation, and just makes you spend more on shards. Hydra isn't really going to do much because you're going to do your damage. So I think that's their thought process right there, is saying, you know what, if it's broken in arena, we'll leave it. That's how they buy primal shards. That's how they get their mythicals. That's how they spend their books. So that's the one thing. So if you're an arena enthusiast, that's how they get you. But if you like every other content in the game, they don't.
I mean,
They
but
don't care.
realistically, Armand is working as intended. Like, in Plarium's eyes, he's working as he's supposed to. For this and Hydra was taking literally 0 turns. So, like, that is...
Yeah, but you are also not dealing damage.
Right, but it just sets you up for down the line stuff. I mean, like, he wasn't using Yumiko's, he was using, like, the very, like, first, like, idea of the team. Like, I'm sure he could have gotten it to do more damage. I agree, like, that right there isn't necessarily an issue, but, like, it's down the line, different champions, it could be a big issue.
Okay. All right. So we discussed a lot of things this week. I'm hoping that Plarium will take a lot of this feedback, especially about the implementation of the instant battles for Hydra. I do have, as all of us, have some reservations about how that's going to be implemented. Maybe it shouldn't be implemented. Test it out thoroughly. You have Bronco, use them. You have other content creators, use them. Make sure that you release it out without any bugs, right? That's all we ask. We don't want to play Bug Shadow Legends. We want to play Raid Shadow Legends because Raid is a phenomenal game, even though it gets very frustrating. It is very borderline predatory on the gambling aspect. But that said, we still all love the game, or else we wouldn't be here every week. Ken, where can actually, before we go, I do want to ask you guys a question because my son asked me a question and then I gave him my response and was like, I think you sound conceited. But he asked me if you could be a champion in the game, which champion would you be? Ken.
Skip me, I'm gonna send a picture.
No. In Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, skip me, I'm gonna send a picture.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
Good question. I did pull for this champion. I did pull for this champion, and I didn't get him, and I'm kind of sad, and it kind of makes me feel like him. I'll have to say the Knave of Hearts. Out of the undead new champion that can taunt. That guy's cool, man. His kid is really good.
Okay, so you want to be an aggressor. You want to be the provoker, the aggressor. Okay.
Yeah.
PJ, what about you?
This is a tough one. There's so many good champions. I mean, I'm leaning thinking a mythical, or I was also thinking Taurus would be cool.
Someone said you want to be Annabelle, by the way.
Yeah, I saw someone wants to be Annabelle. I'm gonna go with Nice. Actually, Nice is pretty cool.
Okay, so you want to be
be nice.
overpowered and just a pain in the ass. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Gestel, what about you?
Definitely 100%, no doubt about it. I want to be the epic barbarian Ator.
The tour. Okay.
Give me them abs, buddy.
Make 'em abs.
Give me them abs.
All right, okay. Not. So we're just going pure looks here, no skills. Okay.
Yes.
I sent a picture, by the way, listen.
You sent me picture. Okay, let's see.
Yeah,
here.
one of my viewer sent me this thing, and yeah, that's what I want to be.
I was thinking of Galather as well, actually.
That's awesome.
Galather Suchi. So you want to be overpowered, broken
He's
champion.
balanced if I have him, but currently I
balanced
agree
if
with
you
you.
have
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Currently I totally agree with you.
Okay. So my son asked me, and I said, I would really love to be Taras. And then he's like, why? So you could be the strongest person in the game? I said, well, he's not the strongest. And he looks at me and he's like, then why do you have two? Feed the other one. And I was like, no.
Calling you out.
But he's like, obviously, that's what you want. I was like, okay, fair point. Very vain, very just like, no matter what, I'm OP.
But real question is, who is Maricha then? If you are Taras.
That would have to be my wife.
Okay.
That would have to be my wife.
I hope.
You think I'm gonna say something else?
Testing you.
But all right. Also, I gotta ask Ken this. So apparently, I am a rare champion in the game, or a rare content creator. Can you tell me 2 questions, chat? 1, how do I upgrade from a rare to an epic? And B, if I'm a rare, which rare am I? Because there is a difference, okay? I could be the apothecary rare, right? Which is good, knowledgeable, has some stuff going on, okay? Or we could be a Hydra, or even worse, We could be where is it? There was one that I was looking. We could be a war priest rare. So I want to know, Ken, which rare am I? First of all,
First of all, there's 100% from the chat vote, okay? People on the chat vote this. And we was like over, how to say that, like, that was a long stream and I'm like a little bit, feels like a drunk, but I didn't drink anything. I just drinking water, I don't know. And some stuff happened that day, yeah. Is that the day I accidentally watch My Horse is Amazing video on my Twitch?
I don't
Live
know.
stream?
All I
Don't
know
watch
is
that. Don't watch that. Don't watch that.
all I know is that
Don't
I got
watch it.
DMs like, "You're a rare content creator." I'm like, what?
Again, that was chat vote. You should be talked to the chat.
Okay. So which one am I? Am I the apothecary or am I the war priest?
You are at least Deacon, my friend.
At
Epic
least
champion.
Deacon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It was good. It was good. I was laughing when I saw it. I was like, okay. All right. A magister. You know what? At least I guess I'm not what's his name? What's the undead here? I forget what he's called.
Seducer?
No, no, I wish shit. You want to talk about the abs from a tour? I'll take the abs from a seducer. Mr. Canned, I think it is. I forget which faction he is. But at least I'm not him, you know? All right. So we had a good laugh right there. Thank you again, guys, for joining us. Ken, where can people come and find you?
Final Kempachi on the YouTube. We just hit the 3,000 sub. Thank you so much for the support,
Let's
guys.
go.
Finally 3,000 sub
Oh,
on the
wow.
YouTube.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
That's-
Thank you. At the same time, Twitch, Final Kempachi, guys. Thank you. We are going live every single day except Sunday at the Clan Boss reset time. Both of the platform, you guys can watch me live.
Awesome. PJ, where can everybody come and find you?
MXPJE on Twitch and YouTube. I stream pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day as much as possible. Trying to get into more YouTube this year, so be on the lookout for that. And it's awesome stuff.
Awesome. Jay, what about yourself?
I can be found on twitch.tv and on YouTube with one name, JRStar3.
Awesome. Gestel?
Yeah, Gestel Gaming on Twitch and the YouTubes. I'm going to try to start streaming live, all my Live Arena, 2 hours of Live Arena on YouTube. I'm going to try to start it tonight. We're going to test it out. So if you'd rather watch on YouTube, give me a follow there.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's talk shout outs. Ken, what you got for me?
I like to shout out a streamer friend. He actually recently started streaming again. Looks like he took a break before, but BG Stellar 3, he's also streamed Raid Shadow Legends, guys. He recently returned to streaming, so I'm gonna leave his channel link over there if anybody wants to support. Go show some love. Go show some love, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Gestel, what you got for a shout out for me?
I'm going to shout out my man, Pogo Pink Tie, one of my favorite streamers. He is on all the time. Also a fellow UPS with a Blazin' driver. But just a great guy in general. If you just want to go chill and watch some Raid, head over to Pogo Pink Tie.
Awesome. Agree. Love the guy. Love the guy. Jay, what you got for a shout out for me, bro?
A new content creator on YouTube known as SMZ Plays.
Okay. PJ, what you got for a shout out for me?
All right, we're gonna be giving a shout out to Mr. Zero Brew. Sadly, he's not here today. He had to miss it because of his daughter's birthday. Also, shout out Microbrew. Happy birthday to Microbrew. But he's an awesome dude. Hopefully, he'll be back here next week. You guys not following him on the Twitch or the YouTube. He's doing way more YouTube this year. He's doing almost like a daily video. He streamed, I think, 3 times a week. He should be, I think, streaming tonight, actually. So check out his stream tonight. Awesome dude. And should be back talking right with us next week.
Let's go. Love myself that dab master. I was asking him for pictures this weekend for updating the thumbnail and stuff, and he's sending me these creepy heart hand pictures and all this, and I was like, dude, can you just give me one without the creepy heart hands? He's like, that's my
He loves-
thing, and I'm like,
Loves the creepy hard hands.
all right. My shout out's actually gonna go to Bronco, guys. I hang out in his Discord like every single day, and I feel like we've gotten that relationship where it's like it's not trash talking, but it's like big brother, little brother kind of sibling rivalry, just picking on each other. But I've been enjoying hanging out there with all the guys in there. Blue shirt guy, Chris, Christopher. It's a lot of fun. He's really just a great guy in there, and he's like really down to earth, right? He's not one of those guys that says, "Oh, I've got my own YouTube channel, I make it, and I'm gone." So big shout out to Bronco, love him. yeah. I'm gonna hit you up in Discord right after this, Bronco. All right, so for the Twitch side, we are going to raid Mr. Oh, he actually went offline.
No.
Skeleton TV was gonna be the raid, but he went offline.
Oh.
So we are actually going to raid Mr. Pogo Pink Tie. So make sure you guys show him some love when we get there. Make sure you ask him to click that bag of weed button. I love that one when it comes up. Guys, as always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next time.